Before WrestleMania, CM Punk jumped on Ariel Hawani's MMA Hour, had quite the interview there. Great stuff. He was asked questions, and while he seemed hesitant about answering them at times, which people seemed to think that he was just jumping into things and wanting to answer, he was like, I don't really want to relitigate this, but I want to give you an honest answer. And that's what he did. He talked about as much stuff as he could. Obviously, there are NDAs involved as it relates to All Out and everything that happened there. But certainly he could talk about All In London and Wembley, and he did. That led to Tony Khan apparently getting a stick up his ass about wanting to, I guess, prove CM Punk wrong and show this footage that now he's trying to wipe off the internet because I don't think it went his way, and maybe he broke British law. So, Tony, man, this is quite the story that's happening here, and yet, at the same time, a bit of a big nothing burger. I don't know. What do you make of all this?
So, God damn it. Ever since CM Punk has returned to WWE, I've told you this privately numerous times. It's no secret that for a while there, I was the most anti CM Punk person on the internet, I believe.
Right.
And now I'm starting to come around to CM Punk slightly.
Slightly, huh?
Slightly. Just a sliver bit. Do I feel like what AEW did was appropriate? Absolutely not. If Tony Khan did in some way, shape, or form break British law, the law is the law, and that's how I feel about everything. So give that man what the actual punishment is and not just a slap on the wrist because he's a billionaire. But we all know how that will go. When it comes to him seemingly scrubbing the internet, I don't think it's because they're scrubbing it because it didn't go his way or because he's worried about being in trouble. I believe the reason why he's scrubbing the internet is it's the fan video from in the arena.
Yeah.
Where the video didn't get the reaction he was hoping for.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the fan video or some of the fan videos out there from inside arena, while that was playing, there is a pretty loud contingent of CM Punk fans that were chanting CM Punk, and then a pretty loud contingent of people trying to drown those. Quite frankly, a less loud contingent trying to drown the CM Punk chants out with boos. It wasn't a good look. I don't think this was a good look at all. They tried to fit it into the story with the Bucks versus FTR to try and make it make some sort of sense, and it felt kind of forced to me. And yet, at the same time, they're trying to make this was obviously set up to try and make CM Punk look bad. And yet, the Bucks are heels on TV. CM Punk was a babyface the last time he was on TV for AEW, and he's a babyface right now in WWE. How, and especially, and AEW is a more hardcore internet audience as their base, but at the same time, you know, this is a thing, a brawl like this, a little scuffle like this, you see 18 times a week in wrestling. Like, a little guillotine and a shove, to a certain degree, isn't a big deal to a wrestling fan, even though this is a shoot. You know, which is another thing. Now within the kayfabe world of AEW, you've got a wrestler who's been fired, and all this drama that happened. The Bucks, you know, as they say, in kayfabe world, as they say, they had to put on their EVP hats for All In, and they were distracted, and that's why they lost to FTR. In kayfabe world, a little shove and a guillotine happens a million times a week. How is that a big deal when that happens literally every week on TV, and it's not distracting then, but this was distracting in kayfabe land? You know what I mean? So it's whatever, but
I buy it, and here's why. You see that a million times a week on television.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't see is behind the scenes in the gorilla position, as literally the heels and faces are all in the same area, working out, preparing to walk out for matches. The only issue that I have with this entire CM Punk thing, or the only blame, I guess, that will fall on CM Punk's shoulders with this to me, is him saying, I didn't hit anybody, I just choked somebody. I don't know what the rules are in the UK, but jail time in America is a lot higher for trying to strangle somebody than it is for punching somebody.
It was just a little light choking. I don't see what the
A
big,
little light choking?
he was just trying to do the right thing, right? I mean,
the difference between what Rhea Ripley's into versus.
Well, I mean, there's no audio with this CCTV footage. Maybe Jack Perry said "choke me, daddy," and CM Punk was just being, doing the right thing there. I don't know. Maybe it was consensual.
You can't argue that, but I gotta say, I am proud of CM Punk for a reason, because he hit the Rick Rude.
Yes. More than that. I mean, he appeared on. Literally, he appeared on AEW television this week, WWE. He was at WrestleMania, WWE television, and he was a big part of New Japan this week with Jack Perry there. So, with a show in Chicago. So,
and he could be spotted in the crowd at a few GCW events too if you watch the replay.
Yes. So. Punk is all over the place, and he's. I mean, between him and Cody right now, the biggest star in wrestling. I mean, wow.
A man of culture.
Yeah.
A man of culture.
One other little bit here. I mean, this is all fun to talk about, and to a certain degree, yes, give me all the chaos in wrestling. I love it. And it's great for us to talk about and have fun and joke with. But at the same time, I think the one thing you nail in on here, and we talk about it feels like every episode, is the tribalism. This video was meant to make CM Punk look bad, but what it really did was just even further the divide. People that already liked or was behind CM Punk saw this and thought, "Oh, come on, that's what he did. Give me a break." What about all the stuff that led up to it? This was nothing. Jack Perry deserved it, and all the people that were against CM Punk saw, "Oh, well, Punk was obviously in the wrong here. He instigated the fight. He shoved him and then got him in the guillotine before he got broken up." Like, how can you look at this and not see CM Punk as the instigator and in the wrong here? And, obviously it's going to be way more complicated than that. All the things leading up to it doesn't mean CM Punk wasn't wrong for the initial shove and instigating and throwing the first punch, if you will. And obviously, we see him get in Tony Khan's face in this video, and I guess that's what made him fear for his life. 3 seconds of Punk yelling, "You're a clown, I quit," in his face over a monitor. But, whatever. The most heartbreaking thing is that it just furthered that divide a little bit. But there is one little funny bit. This is on Forbes, and their results for Dynamite this week, and in the results, they literally put CM Punk defeats Jack Perry in backstage footage. That's just hilarious. Forbes, of all places.
Forbes magazine.
Yes.
The magazine for the rich and the famous and the wealth is reported that CM Punk won a match on Dynamite this week, and just, blame the solar eclipse, blame whatever you want to blame, but I hope the apocalypse happens sooner rather than later.
And another sad note with that footage, poor Chris Hero, man, he just looks so defeated.
Chris Hero looked defeated. Tony Schiavone had heavy 2000 WCW face.
Yeah.
But the star cameo in all of that footage is just a casual Malachi Black walking through, sipping his coffee.
Yeah.
With no care for any of the bullshit that was happening.
preceding announcement has been paid for by Bomb Media Productions.